Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Aceikith Gaming and welcome to League of Legends with a POV commentary, which I'll explain now to why. This game I've only recently played, so I'm literally just having a moment to just relax, but then about, I'd say 10 minutes into the game or so, I realised that my mic wasn't on, so obviously I couldn't record it. That's my mistake, me being a pleb. But yeah, we're playing Fizz. We are against a Sylas, so I would say that this matchup isn't as straightforward as the Fizz games that I've played before. Like normally I play Fizz to counter into like hyper carries like a Vega or an Aurelion Sol. Sylas is not that, but with everything that else I had available, I felt that Fizz was possibly the best choice that I had towards the enemy comp. So Fizz is also good against Sylas because a good Fizz player can actually time his E as Sylas uses his second E. So a good Fizz player should never really get caught by Sylas quite so easily. And plus also Sylas obviously has an ultimate where he can grab on top of like get other champions ults, so he can grab Fizz ult. Also Fizz can just use E to get out of his own ult. As you can see there, the Sylas is trying to play aggressive, but I'm just being able to just waddle around a little bit, position myself nicely, so I'm always behind a minion, and that way I'm not needing to use E so much, because particularly in the early stages the E level cooldown is quite high until it gets to max level. That is why you do need to use your E sparingly, especially in the early stages, and that is also why E gets leveled up first. So just to talk a little bit about other lanes, to start with top lane, Dr. Mundo against a Teemo. A Teemo is ranged, so it should be particularly annoying to a Dr. Mundo, but a Dr. Mundo is extremely tanky. He is. So he should be able to just recover a nice bit of health. His health regen is also pretty good. And his typical first fire also makes him really good in the later stages as well. I make a bit of a mistake getting a little bit too close to the Sylas, and he automatically registers that and just goes, I'm just going to burst you down a little bit, which is the correct thing to do. So I'm now needing to be careful while my lane is under tower. As you can see, my farm is not particularly great. It normally isn't on Fizz. Fizz, I would say, is pretty easy with the W, but when you're not really using W to farm, it becomes a little bit more difficult. So yeah, so Dr. Mundo versus Teemo should be pretty interesting. I'll go for a little engage. I managed to dodge the E perfectly, and for some reason the Sylas uses Ignite right at that moment. Very, very weird, I would say, because he didn't have any more damage really by the point other than his passive auto attack, which I was already stepping away from him anyway. Sylas goes in for a big engage. I'm just going to try and burst him down now. He flashes away. I flash in to confirm the kill. So a few mistakes from the Sylas, getting a little bit maybe overly aggressive. Part of what makes me confident, if you look back into it and rewind the video a little bit, you'll notice that Sylas's mana is a little bit low, which grows me in confidence because he does require his mana quite a bit, which is a big part of his whole kit. If he can't use his abilities, therefore he doesn't get his empowered autos, which means he doesn't have a great deal of damage. Because while he is an AP melee champion, he doesn't have great damage with just basic auto attacks. Because how he has like his melee, where he's a melee centric champion, what makes him do that great amount of burst damage from his combo is the fact that he uses his abilities one after the other in between using autos. So like, as you may see when I do play a Sylas game, you can go E just to get a little bit closer, then use your W to get on top of the enemy champion. You got two auto passive attacks to use that way. You use one of them, you then use your E to get right on top of them again. You then use another couple, and then you can use your Qs, and that way if they want to re-engage, they're slowed. So therefore if they are a melee champion as well, they can't come back at you and return the favour. But obviously this kind of matchup, it does depend on the experience of both of these players on each of their champions, I would say. Obviously Fizz is not my most experienced champion by far, but I've only started using him in the last, I'd say, month or so specifically, because there are certain champions that are just really, really good in the late game, and I need to snowball the early game. Obviously this is a little bit different. Sylas isn't a hyper carry. He's not really even a carry champion, but he's a very good mid-game champion, I would say. And he can even get some really good kills in the early game if they play it. But the whole reason why I managed to get that first kill, because he had no pressure. Specifically because he uses Ignite by panicking. If he had that Ignite at that point, maybe he would have been better off. You know, but maybe at that point as well then, anyway, it wouldn't have mattered so much. But it gave me that extra confidence because he had no Ignite. He'd just used Flash, so he had no way of getting out of it. Where I had my Ignite, which I used in that fight. And then I also had Flash to be able to use, and that way I can get that last auto win. So as you can see there, I'm actually trying to go a little bit more aggressive now. I am starting to get a little bit more confidence. I'm a little bit down on farm, but I know the kills will be better for me. I can do a better short trade over the Sylas, especially if he can't get on top of me. You know, it is a matter of who engages on who first and who can actually do the bigger amount of damage in the short term. You can see it's very to and fro, and now he's starting to learn. So what he's starting to do now, he's waiting for me to mail and use my E. So that way he's not, so then that way he can still get on top of me because I've already used partially my disengage. Unfortunately the Trundle gets shut down by the Sylas. I did try to ping him away, but I don't think the Trundle necessarily realised that the Sylas was on his way when the Viego and the Trundle, I think, was fighting over Dragon, or fighting nearby at least. So, not ideal, specifically because, like, at that point, I'm actually a decent amount ahead. But you can see there, the Trundle and myself are starting to say, you need to back up right this second, because Viego, we knew was there for a while. So, why bot lane was still pushed up, I do not know, and both of them get killed. So, but obviously bot lane at the moment is looking like it's going well. 0-2 Lucian. Don't forget, it's an early game AD carry champion. Where, at the same time, Isa is a hyper carry. So, like, there's a lot of ping going on from the Lucian. I get he's very, very annoying. Unfortunately, I don't believe there is a way that I can actually mute their pings on a replay. But, obviously, that's something that we will have to just deal with, I guess, really, partially, if that does keep on happening. So obviously, there's no way for me to do that. So talking about other lanes, so we've got a Trundle in our lane. We have in our jungle against a Viego. Very obnoxiously strong champion, has been ever since he first got released. But it's fallen a little bit off the radar in I'd say the last 6 months. And that is mostly because I guess really other AD melee champions are just better than him at the moment, really. You know, and a lot of people now know how to play against him, that he has to be a priority target. Speaking of which, we see Viego just pop out by the Raptors now. Right there. There's me just seeking him out and finding him. Which is kind of what we wanted to be able to do as laners, and that way it gives our jungler a little bit more confidence to be able to go, right, I can go for this objective. Which is why, like, say for example, me as a mid laner, Sylas actually managed to get a good engage on me. I'll try and do some damage, and I have to flash away because I know that Sylas could use his ult to actually then use my ult to ult me, because I've already used D, I've used my Q, all my flash has now just gone down. So I now need to be a little bit more careful at this point. So you see there's the Trundle just looking to see if maybe he can try and go for a little bit of an engage, chooses not to. But I'm clearing quite a bit of the wave nicely because the Trundle just happens to be there, so there's that little bit of ghost pressure as such. You know, it's not pressure that, you know, oh, he's being ganked, but a matter of, I'm here, you don't know where I am, You have to respect that as if I am. Because as far as I can tell, Sylas is not really doing that much warding. Especially compared to me anyway. So, you know, I'm using a control ward on the lower side of the mid lane. I'm in the opening bush on the entrance. Yeah, yet again, the Sylas manages to wait out. So this is something that I need to now learn. I'm not sure what happened there with my ult, I'm going to be honest. I unfortunately die. And yeah, now the Sylas is going to get away. Oh, this is a bit of a bad situation. So yeah, I unfortunately died. I don't know what exactly happened with my ult, if I am completely honest. It just like evaporated. It did, to be honest. It literally evaporated. So I'm not sure if that is a bug or something. So I'll need to have a look at that. Because I did notice that nothing happened really with my ult. Really, to be honest. It was like as if, like, you know, it was trying to go through a Yasuo window wall. And suddenly it just went poof. All of a sudden out of nowhere. So I don't know what the Senna is doing in mid lane. The Senna is just going into mid lane right now and almost getting killed by the Ashe. Thankfully the Chandler is a little bit aware of what's going on here. And now I managed to kill the Ashe. I almost killed the Sylas as well. And arguably I could have gone for that if I had my E up. But we're now just going to go on top of the Viego now. And I managed to get effectively a double kill by doing all of that. Sylas is having to back because he was very low health. He was about to die, but now we've got a Lucian, which could be a problem. And again, oh yeah, it's a replay bug. That's what it is, okay. There's a replay bug. So that is something to send over to Riot at some point, maybe. So pretty good. I would say that was a decent Herald there. We only managed to get 2 tower plays out of all of that, but I think the third one is pretty much about to go down. Again, Senna in mid lane. I have no idea why, and gets herself killed by Sylas. So 2 free kills given to Sylas. Obviously, it's no fault from the Trundle. You know, he's already been engaged by Viego and trying to get away. And unfortunately, the Sylas just, you know, was in the right place at the right time. That situation, however, at that particular moment in time, that could have easily have been avoided. But for some reason, the Senna just wanted to walk up towards the Sylas, try and poke him down. But it's only ever going to end in one way, really, to be honest. The Sylas is going to get on top of the Senna. And he did exactly that. So now I believe they're fighting over Dragon right now. I am wanting to push in my lane a little bit, so that way it's in a bit more of a neutral perspective. I'm going to be having to go over. But yeah, this is now starting to become a bit of a fight for Dragon now. And this is without our AD carry, by the way. This is in all of this, so... Not sure what the Senna's doing though. She's about to be caught again for the second time in a row. Yeah, so a pretty interesting game so far. While this Dragon fight is about to take place, I believe. Mundo is actually doing fine against Timo, about 20 farm up. Viego has got a couple more kills compared to the Trundle, but then Trundle's also got assists where Viego has not. We managed to get the first Dragon of the game, a big fight ensues. Managed to kill the Viego. On top of that, the Kaiser and the Senna die. I'm having to get away because there's no... And the Mundo has actually TP'd down to the fight, where obviously Timo doesn't have TP. The Trundle dies as well, but the Lucian died and all of that as well. The Mundo is now just going to try and get as much damage down as possible. Oops. Excuse me, that will work. And yeah, the Dr. Mundo is going to try and do as good amount of damage as possible. Excuse me. The Senna ult comes down right at the best time as soon as she spawns up. Allows her to kill the Sylas, which is pretty good. So Mundo's doing quite well. And the Ashe, I don't know what she's doing. But the Lucian obviously knows what's going to happen. And yeah, for some reason, the Ashe died for no reason at all. So yeah, we've got a Fedmundo on our team, which is something you do not want as the enemy team. I'm going to now try and go for a little bit of a sneaky kill on the Teemo. I can't quite catch up to him. The Teemo is a little bit too sly, I would say. And I go back up to the minion wave, not before taking some damage from Teemo strings. Which is the one thing, even nowadays, that makes Teemo particularly strong. One thing I wouldn't mind, I'm not sure what you guys are like. I know that Teemo, when I first started playing, was a really annoying champion. And a lot of people would express exactly the same with regards to that. But nowadays, a lot of players don't really care about Teemo so much anymore. And most of that is because a lot more players are a lot wiser. Particularly when you start going into, like, you know, higher elos, you know, or higher ranks. Now, I am about to get caught, by the way, and I was caught a little bit of sleep here. Concentrating on the Viego, not realising I am about to get Ashe arrowed. So I get pretty much one shot. I do from all of that. The rest of the team, my ult, by the way, just got released just as I died, which allowed the rest of my teammates to all survive for the moment. Yeah, as you can see, the Trundle is doing a lot of damage with his ult as well. Just bear in mind, that does drain Viego's health, by the way. But the Trundle, greeding a little bit more. And yeah, he greeded for that kill and paid for it with his own life in the process. So both junglers down now. But yeah, bot lane's not going so hot now. A 3 and 4 Kai'Sa has now developed when they actually had a, I believe, a 2-0 lead in the early stages of the bot lane. Lucian, who was 0 and 2, however, now 6 and 4. So he's actually done well to come back from where he was. You know, that sort of thing shouldn't really happen, because as soon as you get ahead as a hyper carry against an early game champion, 9 times out of 10 you should already be winning that lane. So the fact that the Kai'Sa has now started to lose in the 1v1 is quite surprising. So yeah, so it's one of those sort of things that obviously can happen. Mundo wants to push in top lane, I guess, but I'm obviously wanting to try and get a team fight in if we can. That there'll be about another 1.5 minutes before Baron comes up. Yeah, and the Lucian just kills the Kai'Sa in a 1v1. Don't know why she's fighting the Lucian in a 1v1 when he is much stronger right now. There's me still wanting to have a fight, and so does the Trundle. Senna, I think, is a little bit questionable about what's going to happen. I'll get ult onto the Teemo. Probably not the best to target, but he was the one in the front of everybody else. We are now just going to basically just right-click funk onto the Teemo. Viego's going to have to run away. And doing all of this, Sylas comes in, manages to do a ton of damage, manages to kill me, manages to kill the Trundle, and now Senna's going to have to run for it. All while this is going on, we've got a Dr. Mundo that's going with Shelly at the moment, breaking open their base. Typically, I would say I would have liked the Mundo to actually help us out, but actually, them opening the base actually then allows us to be able to do everything else. He's now going to straight away TP down the bot lane to push the Lucian off of the bot lane turret, which would be breaking into our base in the process as well. So yeah, so we've actually got not a bad moment here. We're just about now making them maybe sweat a little bit, just trying to you know, maintain that pressure. But Mundo's actually built quite a great amount of pressure at this time. But we do need to get over to the dragon. 20 minutes has passed and only one dragon's been done, by the way. The Trundle gets killed by the Lucian. I'm not sure why they're doing that all on their own. I'm going to try and... Oh, it doesn't hit anybody. But I know at this point, I'm not really going to be able to do anything. Viega ults in. I actually catch the arrow to save the Kaiser's skin. I do kind of, but I don't think there would have been any follow-up regardless. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, a little bit of snowballing action, a little bit of a fiesta, I would say. You know, like we are now 21 minutes in, and we have got almost 40 kills between 10 players. We have at the moment. Most kills have gone to the Lucian, unfortunately so. Obviously the Kaiser hasn't really helped matters. But also the Senna is being a little bit too aggressive, and with her positioning, not willing to respect that the Sylas is obviously roaming around. Which I will say was bothering me a little bit. The Sylas is now coming into our jungle for some strange reason. I was going to go for a play, but I see the team out there. I'm like, I don't really want to be, you know, doing too much on that if it's not really a play that we can make. I'd rather make it with multiple teammates if I can help it. You know, lots of confusion. That's the sort of thing that I want right now. And yeah, the Senna dies as well. I'm going to just get away from the sides before you get on top of me again, because I don't want that, obviously. You know, me being able to like just do a little bit of damage to him and then get away, that's what I prefer. You know, because obviously in the 1v1 at this point, Sylas can actually do a sizable amount of damage on me. And he is tankier than me, by the way. So I need, like, I'm trying to prioritize the Lucian at this moment. I am. My ults, I wanted to mainly go on the Lucian. We can see that the Lucian's farming top lane with the super minions coming into their base right now. So yeah, so looking at the game right now, I've built a Ludens, where Sylas has built a Rod of Ages. He is actually up on me on farm bars just a little bit. He has also got more kills than me, so he's also got Shadow Flame. I am next looking to build a Lich Bane, which is the ideal second item for Fizz at the moment. Some players do tend to go Zhonya's, because it is, after all, a very good item to buy on Fizz. But by buying it early, you do end up limiting with how much damage you can actually do by quite a bit. And because obviously Fizz is made to do burst damage in one go and then get out of the team fight and rotate the spells around a little bit, obviously it's not going to be able to do much. We all start going in for an engage while Viega's trying to do blue. That catches Sylas out as well. The Viego has still not died. He's pretty much at full health. Maybe I'm confusing him for the Sylas maybe that was trying to do blue buff. Mundo unfortunately died trying to kill the Lucian though. So you can see how strong this Lucian is. Really, which obviously is a little bit frustrating. It's not a great amount that we can do though. So the only one that survives in all of that is the Senna. And she's not particularly strong at the moment, but hopefully we'll get stronger with a bit more time. So yeah, so I've now got my Lich Bane. Sylas is now building towards his Zhonya's, which is a good third item, I would say, for Sylas. Well, the couple of times that I've played Sylas so far, I have actually built Rabadon's F-Cap. I do tend to agree pretty greedily on Sylas. It's the same with Fizz. I tend to build quite greedily. Like, I do believe I go for Rabadon's Death Cap on Fizz as well in this game. Where possibly with what the enemy team have actually got, I should look to actually build a Zhonya's, and that way I have that little bit more safety.
Legendary.
But yeah, Lucian gets another kill on the side on the Senna. And I'll go for an ult onto the Lucian. He gets caught, and he finally died. A 1,000 gold shutdown, by the way. because you get 300 gold for a first kill since their last kill. You do usually anyway. Plus also the 700 gold bounty. I do believe I get a little bit of extra gold on top of that, just because of the I got the bounty thing. I have the treasure hunter. Couldn't remember what it was called. Yeah, I'm going to try and do as much damage as I can with the Trundle after that fight with Viego. Not going to work, unfortunately. The Sylas does have a little bit more damage overall, I will say. And now the Senna is just going to get some... You can see me unpicking quite a lot. I did to say, let's get the dragon done before the Viego gets here. You know, if they all work together, I'm pretty sure they could. It's a little bit tricky now because the Viego's on his way. And we actually see the Lucian. At this moment, I would have actually dropped off. And I could see what was going to happen. Lucian just ults to steal the dragon there. Which is exactly what happens. So, a little bit unfortunate. But yeah, that 1,000 gold bounty is going to help out quite a lot. And bear in mind, he's still got another 700 gold bounty. So if he was to die again shortly after with not getting a single kill, that's going to be a lot of gold that he's giving to the enemy team. So Lucian is somebody that's going to have to, of course, be careful. Viego going for a bit of a silly play there. Mundo does ult, I guess, and there you go. The Lucian actually dies to the Trundle. Not sure why the Lucian was here. But the Lucian was over here, by the way. So I'm not sure what was going on there. I'm going to be honest. We do look into possibly doing Baron again. Managed to get the my ult onto the Ashe. Even though she flashes, I don't know why she flashed that. She should have just accepted the death at that point. Excuse me. I've got a little bit of cough, I think. Yeah, so this is now Baron about to be taken again. Sylas does flash. We managed to slay the Baron. And we managed to get a kill onto the Sylas. We're now going to get another kill, hopefully, on the Teemo. Viego, I do not know where he is. But I believe possibly farming somewhere else in the jungle. But most of his camps are up right now, pretty much at the moment. And his blue buff is about to come up as well. So yeah. So we are building Rabadon's Death Gap third. And then I do believe by memory we do start building Zonya's. I'll do after that. So we are, I'd say we are reasonably strong, but then also our champion's quite good into their team comp, because the whole team comp as a whole are pretty squishy. I would say Sylas is possibly their tankiest champion, but everyone else are quite squishy. They do quite a good amount of burst damage, but if we can actually time my E right, then most of their damage is gone and I don't take any damage. But we do need to start thinking about pushing in a lane and just try and push it in as hard as possible. Our team realises that. I see the Viego and I believe he actually was hiding, like here. See where my mouse is. I believe he was hiding in the bush, possibly. He actually just walked past. He didn't know he's there. So now I realise, okay, he's not hiding. The Teemo is hiding around here, and it's quite evident to see why. He's got loads of streams here. You know, one rule of thumb is a little bit like the similar sort of thing with playing against the Singe. Don't follow the Singe player. Don't follow the Teemo player that's leading you to his stream. Because the whole reason why he was on that side of the lane was because that's where his stream was. That's where his defense was. So we're now just going to try and do as much damage and scale as possible, and then allow our cannons to do the rest. Because obviously we can't tread into the base itself, because our cannon minions trying to do damage to it. It will do it eventually, but it will take some time. And there you go, it goes down because of the cannon minion. It now take down the inhibitor now. And once this goes on, we can do effectively what we want. Trundle goes up to the top side and does the inhibitor there as well, so that is open, which is a very good idea. The rest of us is just going to distract the rest of the enemy team, make sure it doesn't get to Trundle. I actually completely missed my ult there. Still go to Viego. Decides it's going to go in the middle of everyone all on his own, and he's just going to be taken down quite easily. In comes a load of damage from the Lucian. I'll go a little bit too far forward, I guess. But obviously this is pretty much going to be the end of the game right here. I'm just going to make sure that we continue. Do as much damage as we can. I'm not going to survive, but the best part of it all is that we do end up winning the game overall. So a little over a half an hour game. Only 3 dragons got slain during that entire game bomb. The next one was due to come up in the next minute, but it just showed Baron was the victory plan as a whole. We didn't have the best of wave clears, but as long as we just kept on pushing, we did have a very good front line with Dr. Mundo and a Trundle, and then Fizz getting into the back line, which obviously I was actually going with the rest of my team because pretty much everybody on the enemy team was all quite squishy. There we were. So, but yeah, that was a very, very good, effective Fizz game overall. We finished 6, 7, 11 and 129 farm. And I do recall that my damage was around about where most of our teammates were. I don't believe I did the most damage. But our role was quite effective. We got a 3-item power spike. We was going to build Zhonya's next, but obviously that never came down to it. Because by the time that we would have done our next base, the game was already over. So, but yeah, very, very good game effectively. And I hope you enjoyed the video as well. I hope you enjoyed the Fizz games as well. Because obviously it isn't my style of champion, but it's there for situations like this. It is where we do need that little bit more of backline strength. Really, to be honest, to try and take out the enemy carries, or especially if, like, say for example, like I said earlier on, if an Aurelian Soul is the enemy, or there's an enemy Veigar. Fizz does help out quite a lot, and I do enjoy the champion, honestly, but, you know, let me know what you guys think of the champion as well, anyway. You know, I know some people don't like him because he is obnoxious, he is annoying, and that's kind of what the champion is. If you do like the video though, don't forget to click the like button, it does help out the channel a lot. If you do want to see further League of Legends videos or even sim racing videos along the line, then please hit that subscribe button as well. But otherwise, we're going to leave it there. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. See you guys next time.